Well, I hope everyone is having a fabulous start to your day or midday or evening or whenever you're watching this. I have already started thinking about the next month. So that's what we're talking about today. We're here to talk about the books that, for whatever reason, and we will get into that I need to get to in July. So before we get started, my name is Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. This is Bookmark by Jen. We're going to get into my July TBR. I have, I think six books that I have to get through in the month of July. Right off the bat, I need to get to the second and third book of a trilogy that I started in June, which I will get more into on my June wrap up. But this is Blaze of Misery and Embers of Mercy. Like I said, those are the second and third books of the Embers Glen trilogy. This is by Bryn Ford. These are dark romances, okay? Extremely triggering content in them. I have not obviously read the second and third books, and I'm telling you, like, the second and third books are going to be like tenfold of what the first book was. The first book was just like setting you up for the amount of chaos that is about to happen in books 2 and 3. I read the first book and I knew immediately what was going to happen in the second book, like right off the bat, and I needed a break. I'm ready to jump in. I don't know if I'm ready to jump in, but I need to jump in, so I'm jumping into these books, and I want to just, I need to, I'm not saying that they're bad, but I need to get them over with, because I need to push through. They are good. I want to know what's happening, and I need to see some justice, if you know what I mean. Okay, this is something that you definitely don't, it's not interconnected. You need to read the first and the second and the third. The second and third do leave off on cliffhangers. The third one will give us our HEA. I know that the second book, like I said, starts right where the first book left off, and the first book left off with some shit about to go down, and I wasn't quite ready to get into that at the moment. It's only going to get worse before it gets better, but there is a very powerful story, I feel like, that is like bubbling and trying to get out from the second and third books. I think Bryn Ford did such an amazing job setting up with the first book and introducing us to these characters. I don't want to get too much into these. I really want to get into that when I do my wrap up, and I also don't want to talk too much about what's going on here. I'm just going to say, like, they're dark, right? So it has been likened to The Handmaid's Tale meets The Purge, and from very accurate. That is very accurate. Basically, so this is set up in the future. Life as we know it it no longer exists, and this community that we are diving into, they have different factions of people, and they have very specific roles, and when you break those roles, there's hell to be paid. And that is where we're at. And I'm gonna push forward at the beginning of the month. We're gonna get that done. Another darker romance is Brainwashed by Nyla K. This is our third book in the Alabaster Pen series. This one is another MM romance. This one is between doctor-patient. It's a doctor-patient true crime between one of the inmates and the doctor that has been sent to study him, evaluate him, get into his mind, and amongst other things. There are so many secrets going on in this book. More questions will be answered inevitably in this book, and then I will end with even more questions. If it's anything like the last book, timelines are going to intertwine from the first and the second books. So definitely want to read these in order as well. There's just things that you would get. I think Nyla K does a really great job of explaining everything, but you don't get the meat, right? And there's a lot of fuckery that happens in these books. I mean, you really are just like blown away, and they're amazing books. I love them. I am reading this very slowly for a reason. I'm enjoying it. Next up is one of the arcs that I have for the month, and I did say one of the arcs, didn't I? I don't necessarily anymore like to do a ton of arcs, but I am on these authors' teams, so it's going to happen, and that is completely fine. I pick and choose with great care what teams I want to be on. So I am so excited and happy to read for these authors. The first one is Take My Soul by Brooke Montgomery. This was going to be our fourth book in the Willow Branch Mountains series. It's an interconnected series. It branched off from the Sugarland Creek series, which was fantastic and amazing, and I loved it. They are small town romances, a little bit of cowboy, a lot of cowboy with a little bit of grit, some dirty talk. I've loved each book for various reasons and their own reasons. I have loved these couples for the same reasons. So this one is, like I said, small town romance. It's an accidental pregnancy. I'm not a huge accidental pregnancy fan. I will not search that out, but I am not opposed to reading it. I did read one from Brooke Montgomery in her last series, and I enjoyed it. So I'm excited to see what she has in store for this one. This one's got a little bit of a twist, though. So we have an older woman, younger man. She's already a single mom. She has a traumatic past, and he's just the right dirty talking cowboy to, you know, show her that some men will show up and stay. My next arc for the month is by Victoria Holiday. It is a desire. No, I keep mixing these up. Okay. It is To Desire, a double. This was one that I wasn't expecting, but I'm here for it because, again, I pick and choose very carefully these authors. So Victoria Holiday has emerged into her mafia romance era, and I'm here for it. She has found her niche for sure. This one is a standalone mafia romance. I do believe, don't quote me on this, but I do believe some characters, like side characters that we will see in this book, have been mentioned or present in other books, but this one is a standalone. You're not missing anything if you dive into this one, but you would know other side characters if that is the case. So we have Adon, who's exacted revenge on all who have wronged him except for one, his childhood tormentor, who is also just happens to be his weakness. She ends up at his club to pay a debt, but as we know, revenge and desire can play a very thin line, right? They dangle between that thin line. We have a masked hero, revenge obsession, forced proximity, possessive MMC, wounded FMC, toucher and die vibes, childhood trauma. Really looking forward to this one. The last arc that I read from her in one of the months that I was MIA, and we will talk about, was phenomenal, and we need to talk about it because it was a mafia romance with like some twists that aren't normally in our mafia romances, and I'm here for that kind of shit, right? Okay, I might need a little fluff now, right? Because most of these are pretty dark. I'm going to need some fluff sprinkled in. So I chose the Americana Playbook by Catherine Carter. This book I've had on my TBR since last year when it came out. I wanted to read it in the summer and I just never got around to it. So I put it on this month's TBR. I want a little, like I said, reprieve from the dark, and I think it's a really good summer book, and I would like to get to it in July. This is a childhood friends to lovers. She is the sitting president's daughter. There's some kind of scandal going on here. She's like not allowed to be in the limelight, or something's going on. I'm not quite for sure, but he is a football superstar. He just won the Super Bowl, I believe. I think there's a bit of fake dating too. There's not too much on this, and that's great. I love that. I've heard some great things about this, but I don't know. There was something about this book that was calling to me, so I would really like to read it. I do know that our FMC has some issues she needs help with, like an inheritance problem or something like that. There's like family secrets and a scandal and unrequited love, and it's just a mixture of all things that just seem like it's going to be a really good story, right? Okay, and then the last book I want to talk about is the buddy read for July. It is going to be on my channel. We have not set a date yet. More than likely going to be in the middle of the month because that's what we normally do. But we will get on that, and I will get the post up and out to everybody so that we can start posting for you guys very soon. But in the meantime, it's going to be West of Forever by Corinne Michaels. This is the first book in her new series, Heartstone Ranch, I believe it is. Yes, Heartstone Ranch. Okay, so it is a small town cowboy forbidden romance with a grumpy single dad. What I thought was intriguing about this is it's kind of like a play on Romeo and Juliet, not really, but basically like two families that are sparring with each other. They're enemies, they don't like each other, and God forbid we intertwine nicely. Like that's a big no-no. And even though their families would never approve, they decide to have a no feelings, a no strings attached relationship to help scratch some itches that need to be soothed. But soon feelings are involved, like they inevitably are. And what do you do when your heart belongs to a man that your family would never approve of? And likewise with his family, your sworn enemies. I think it's going to be a good time. It's Corinne Michaels. She gives great story and plot and prose. She's really not bad on the steamy sex scenes either. I'm really excited for this month. I am. I got some dark stuff. I got some light stuff. I think it's going to be, we're going to have some fun. All right, now it's your turn. What are you going to read this month? Don't forget to put West of Forever on your list somewhere and join us for the live. That definitely will be posting very soon, and let you know the exact date of that. Okay, let me know what you're going to read, and I will talk to you very, very soon. Next up will be my June wrap-up. Can't wait to talk about all those books, and then after we do that, a little bit of house cleaning, then we'll get into the books that I read in the months that I was nowhere to be found. Anyway, I will catch you guys next time, but until then, happy reading. Bye.